Our goal is to break the power of the mob in America and nothing short of it. We mean to end their profits, imprison their members, and cripple their organization. Imprison their members and cripple their organization. Cripple their organization. Imprison their members. Break the power of the mob.
Are you putting off filing?
Yo, what is going on, world? So today, I want to talk to you about something directly from the IRS. Unfortunately, I see too many people who diminish financial professionals and what they do, and then run to their quote-unquote accountant or CPA and pay them a whole bunch of money for things they really don't need, because you have fear of the IRS or the federal government. So today, I'm literally going to show you a YouTube video directly from the Internal Revenue Service that shows you what you can get done from the IRS. So let me share this with you right now. It's a brief video, and we're going to take a look at it. Owe taxes but can't pay the IRS. Directly from the IRS's YouTube. So let's take a look.
Are you putting off filing your tax return because you owe money but can't pay? You shouldn't. The IRS can help you if you're having trouble paying all the taxes you owe at once, but you must take action. Here's what you need to do. Before the April deadline, file either your tax return or get an automatic 6-month extension of time to file your tax return. This will help you avoid the failure to file penalty. You can even visit irs.gov/freefile and submit your extension online for free. Next, you should pay what you can before the April deadline. That's because you'll be charged interest and a penalty on whatever is left. So you want the amount you owe to be as small as possible. Then check out the different payment options we offer, such as an installment agreement or an offer and compromise. Go to irs.gov/payments for more details.
So look at that, ladies and gentlemen. There's actually resources for you directly from the Internal Revenue Service, where you don't have to go to your local CPA or your local accountant and actually spend all this money on certain things. In fact, I think I may be a little nice and show you their next video, which is a tax withholding estimator. So it actually shows you how to estimate your tax withholdings. And this is tax withholding checkup, and this was released directly from the Internal Revenue Service, so directly from the actual federal government. So this is not a source or any, the source is the IRS. This is not some accountant or some mathematician who generally has the information wrong, or a prior IRS agent who remembers things like a resolution compromise from 30 years ago when they were an agent, and every 2 years the tax law changes. So this is as of May 12th, 2020, how to estimate your IRS tax withholdings. And again, this is something that is very necessary because, you know, you talk about having all this money, yet you're going to get taxed on it if you don't know how to do what you properly need to do. So let's take a look at it. And people stop complaining, I'm getting taxed, this, that, and the third. And then you don't find the resources that will help you avoid that.
Hi,
and welcome to this demonstration video on how to use the IRS tax withholding estimator, which can be found at irs.gov/W4APP. When the landing page opens, you'll see the Before You Begin box that recommends you have your most recent pay stubs handy, along with information for any other sources of income and your latest tax returns. Also, ensure to use the whole dollar amounts in the estimator. Now let's get started by clicking the Use the Tax Withholding Estimator button here in the middle of the screen. Once the estimator screen displays, you'll see you're on step 1, About You, and at the top is a legend with 5 other steps before I get to see my results. Please note that any information entered in this video is made up and for demonstration purposes only. Please follow along using your own information. Depending on how you answer this tax estimator's questions will cause additional qualifying questions to appear below or on following screens. Also note that many of the questions are notated as required in red text, and to the right of some questions is a help tip displayed as a question mark icon, which provides additional information regarding that question. To begin, you want to select the filing status that you expect to use for the upcoming tax filing season. For me, I'm going to select Married, Filing Jointly. You'll now notice that additional questions are displayed. Next, I'll select if somebody else can claim me as a dependent on his or her tax return. In my case, I'll select No. Then scrolling down, I'll need to select if I plan on claiming any other dependents on my tax return. In this case, I'm going to select Yes, and in the next field that's displayed, I'm going to click the drop-down and choose 2. The next question is based on income and asks if either I or my spouse will hold the job this year with paychecks that'll have federal tax regularly withheld. Again, I'm going to select Yes. Then it wants to know how many jobs we plan to hold throughout the year. First, for me, I'll select 1, and for my spouse, I'll also select 1. The next question asks if we'll receive a pension this year. In my case, I'm going to select No to this one. In the 5th question, it asks about additional sources of income and tax payments I expect to have throughout the year. In my case, I will select that my spouse will collect unemployment compensation, and I'll select that I earned net income from self-employment. Please click on all the boxes that relates to your circumstance. Note, selecting these options will make additional questions appear on following screens. Finally, at the bottom, for demographics, select if you or your spouse will be 65 or older or are blind. In my case, none of these relate, so I'll just click on the next button here at the bottom left. Step 2, Income and Withholding. The first section is about my job and asks if I expect to hold it for the entire year. In my case, I do expect to, so I'll select Yes. Then I need to answer how frequently I am paid. On the drop-down, there's weekly, every 2 weeks, twice monthly, or once a month. I'll select every 2 weeks. Next, I want to know what date did my most recent pay period end. If I click in the field, a calendar will display, or I can enter in the date manually. Now you'll see additional questions have appeared. So scrolling down, next I'll enter the total wages that I expect to receive this year. Next, I'm asked to enter any bonuses that I've received this year, or that I expect to receive later on this year. In my case, I'm going to leave these blank. However, if you are expecting to receive a bonus later in the year, and your employer does take out taxes from your bonuses, you'll want to select this box here underneath. Next, using my latest pay statement, I'll need to enter my total federal taxes withheld to date, and what my total federal tax withheld was in my recent pay statement. Finally, it wants to know if I've contributed to a tax-deferred retirement plan, or an HSA or FSA or other pre-tax plan. In my case, I'll select No for both. Next, I need to enter in my spouse's job information. To do so, click on the plus sign to the left to expand it. As it did before, it wants to know if my spouse will have held the job all year long. In this case, I'm going to select No. Then I'll enter the date range that my spouse either worked or will work throughout the year. As before, I'll enter in the frequency every 2 weeks, and then I'll have to enter in estimated amounts until they actually begin their job. Again, because of how I answered previously, I need to enter in my spouse's total estimated unemployment compensation for the year, then any estimated federal income tax withheld from unemployment, then for myself, my expected net self-employment income, and any estimated federal income tax payments I've made toward my self-employment income. Now that I've completed all these entries, I can click on the next button here at the bottom. Step 3 is about adjustments to income. You can choose to see adjustments here to check if anything applies to you. If it doesn't, then simply go to the next step. In my case, I have no adjustments. I'll simply click on Go to Next Step, and then click on the next button below, which now takes me to Step 4, Deductions. The description here notes that I qualify for the standard deduction based on my filing status. Most taxpayers take the standard deduction, but if you'd like to itemize, click on the Itemize Deductions and then fill out these fields. If your itemized deductions are less than the standard deduction, then the calculator will automatically use the standard deduction in your results. In my case, I'm just simply going to take the standard deduction and then click the next button to proceed to Step 5. And in Step 5, I can choose to see any tax credits here and then enter anything in that applies to me. However, if none of these credits apply to you, then simply select Get My Results without tax credits and then click the next button. On the results page, the estimated overpayment shows the amount of my estimated refund, assuming that nothing changes throughout the year. However, once my spouse begins their job, I'll want to run this estimator again and enter in their actual amounts for pay and withholdings to get a more accurate result. If you scroll down, you'll see that there's a slider bar here in the middle of the screen. If you want less of a refund at the end of the year or more of a refund at the end of the year, you can slide the slider either to the left for less of a refund or to the right for more of a refund, and then below will display what adjustments you should make to either your or your spouse's W-4 by clicking on the plus sign on either one. Scrolling down to the bottom, you'll find a detailed table with a summary of all your inputs and calculations. You can expand or minimize any of these sections as you please. You can also make edits to any of these sections. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can also go back, start the form all over, or you can print this page for a record of your inputs. We highly recommend you check out the frequently asked questions for any questions and concerns regarding your results or withholding recommendations. Thanks for watching.
So again there, ladies and gentlemen, that was a video directly from the Internal Revenue Service showing you exactly how to estimate your taxes. And you don't need to pay an accountant huge sums of money to do so. When I see way too many do that and even pay to have their taxes filed and things that you don't need to. If you make under, I believe it's $45,000 a year, that's 45,000, you can actually have your taxes filed for free by an IRS Internal Revenue agent, as opposed to going to Liberty Tax, H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, etc., where you will find someone like myself who has a PTIN or a tax preparer identification license to charge you $400+ for your tax return. So again, people, you have to be savvy about the things that you think, oh, you're a little this, that, and the third. Those accountants are salespeople too. Their job is to sell you on how difficult it is for you to do your own taxes. So, since you diminish mine, I diminish yours. We're in a de minimis society. With that being said, peace and black power. One love, I'm out.
The power of the mob in America and nothing short of it. We mean to end their profits, imprison their members, and cripple their organizations. Imprison their members and cripple their organizations. cripple their organization.